Hey, 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 beautiful people. Welcome to the Hub. What's up, family? How you guys doing? We officially hit 100 episodes. Woo! I am so excited and so grateful for my team. Shout out to Karen Hunter for just having me as a part of this podcast hub. And then also my producer, Donica, couldn't do this thing without you, girl. 100 episodes. Say word. And we're even coming up on 2 years. Isn't that bananas? Thank you. Thank you for being a loyal listener and sharing this podcast. And I appreciate all of you that really do subscribe and leave 5-star reviews and, send DMs with your questions or what you got out of the last podcast. I appreciate you and just thank you. Thank you. This is a labor of love, and I am very grateful for all of you that are being impacted by this podcast. So what I wanted to talk to you about today is trust. If you're listening in right now, a part of you might have just gone, Psh. Coach Cass, I'm never going to trust again, right? I recently had someone write in where he flew and moved from one state to the next for a woman, and they got married, and he ended up finding out that she had been cheating on him, and she left him for that man. How in the world do you trust again? So for some of you, you're in that exact same spot, or you're still hoping to get back with your ex. You're waiting for your ex to change. You're waiting for them to show you an inkling of what you thought that you knew. And you're waiting. And that waiting turns into hurting because they're living their lives, doing whatever it is that they're doing. So how do you trust yourself enough to move on? I really believe a huge part of it is taking the time to understand who you are and what you need. And you might be thinking, but Coach Cass, I know what I want. I know what I need. I'm securing this bag. I'm doing all these things. I just want someone to do it with. And a part of you doesn't want to move on from the familiar because it's convenient. Repeat after me. Conveniency causes casualties, right? Just being convenient can really have you in a real crazy situation, right? Just because you know it. I'm going to tell you right now, it's time for you to assess if your ex is really the person for you. More than likely, they're not. There are a few cases where they are, right? I have a few members of our Real Love Network that after their ex did therapy and has shown themselves approved, right? As a brand new person, or at least a person in progress working on whatever they're supposed to work on, they're giving them a chance, right? It can happen. But for the majority of cases, that person is that person. And if you don't like them now, you're not going to like them later, okay? Let's not play games. So I need you to take the time right now, or after you listen to this podcast, I want you to take the time to just sit and really think about, what do you want? What do you want? How do you want to live? How do you want to feel in the right relationship, right? And we're going to do some of this work in the upcoming Dating Accelerator, howbusywomendate.com, right? How Busy Women Date. It's a dating accelerator, one-day dating accelerator for those of you that have been frustrated with dating, maybe having a hard time getting over your ex, and you're like wondering, what is dating? How does it work before, during, and after the date? Like, how do you even get to the second one? Like, we are going real practical, tactical in this event. So howbusywomendate.com. It's for you if you're frustrated with dating, right? So when it comes to trusting yourself, how can you trust anyone else if you don't trust yourself? And I'm going to say this. For the last person that hurt you, were there signs? Were there signs that, you know what, this may not be it? But instead, you looked past it because that person has been there. Period, right? Like just the conveniency of being present. So you're like, oh, I'd rather have him here because he's here versus saying, this isn't it. So I invite you to say, look, I can trust myself because I saw those signs. I just didn't listen to myself. So a part of trust is listening. Listening to you and what your gut or God is saying. We want to lean into that still small voice. The problem is that we're so busy here making the noise. I want the ring. I've been with this person for 5 years. So they need to go ahead and put a ring on it, knowing this is not your spouse. But because you've been here so long, you just want to drag it into a situational marriage, because I don't know how long that's going to last, right? So I really want you to start to think about, when it comes to trust, looking back at the times where you essentially were hurt in a relationship. Did you see it coming but ignore it, right? And if the answer is yes, in any of those situations, then number 2, I need you to listen. Listen. And then number 3 is act. I need you to take action, whether it's a question, whether it's ending the relationship, whether it's fill in the blank, right? So you want to make sure that you're taking the time to analyze your last situation. Analyze it. Then number 2 is listen to your gut instinct, God. Number 3 is to act. Ask the questions that you have questions about. Observe, take notice, or leave the relationship if it's not for you. And if you're on the front end, that comes into dating, right? You can see if this is not a person that you're compatible with. But sometimes we're just excited that somebody speaks complete sentences. Am I telling the truth or am I telling the truth, right? Like, oh my God, Coach Cass, he speaks complete sentences. He's consistent and he calls and texts me every day. I don't even know what to do. Complete sentences and he's consistent. Oh, and he's cute. Oh, the 3 C's, triple trifecta, Coach Cass. I'm in love. Listen, stop doing that, right? I want you to think about dating as an enjoyable activity versus a manhunt. This is what I find too often, is that as busy professional women, we have goals. So you're like, what is the end result? What is the ROI? I want the husband. And if you don't get the husband in 5.2 days, then you're like, oh, this dating stuff doesn't work. But you can get a husband in 5.2 days. But who wants to just get a random guy? You want the right guy, right? You want the right person for you. So I want you to start to really think about this, fam. Think about this. What is right for me? Let me go ahead and analyze, listen, then act, right? Analyze, listen, then act. ALA, right? So this trifecta of complete sentences, consistent and cute, that's just a baseline. And what? So just like they talk about, what do you bring to the table? What does he bring to the table? What do you both bring to the table? In trusting, it's more of observing. Does this person align, their actions align with who they say that they are? And that's through observation. That's not through interrogation. Sometimes, ladies, when you end up on a date, you have you have your interview ready. You know, you're checking out his credit score, his shoe size, how he dresses, and it's just like, just relax and observe the man that he is. When the waiter comes, is he rude to the waiter? Right? What does he do? All right, girlfriend. I hope this was helpful for you. If it was, I want to hear from you. Make sure to message me at Inspire Many on Instagram. I'm Coach Cass, America's go-to love doctor. I've been featured in Essence, Cosmopolitan, NBC, Black Enterprise. I'm a TEDx speaker. But more than all of that, I'm your coach. And if you would really like support in your love journey, understand that that's what I do. I have a whole community that supports you in your love journey, and you don't have to do this alone. You don't. Because I understand how lonely love can be. And even as a married woman, right? Even as a married woman, I have built a community around me to make sure that I'm acting right, because we don't all act right, right? I am not immune to the ebbs and flows in relationship. I have just come to realize how important community is. All right, sis. Till next time. Bye. Keep loving, keep laughing, keep living. Bye-bye.